What's up, Star Wars fans? We're the Hilsmaniacs, and today we're going to answer the question in the title of this video: should there be a Season 2 of the Book of Boba Fett? So, for those of you that may have watched it, the final episode of this season of the Book of Boba Fett has been released on Disney Plus, and it's a good episode. I mean,
there's a great episode.
Epic battle in this thing. A lot of canon stuff that wasn't necessarily canon before may now be canon because of this.
They made a lot of references and things like that.
And it was a great end to this show. Now, I don't know, I don't think it's been confirmed yet that they're doing a Season 2, which is, I guess, kind of why we wanted to do this. If there were to be a Season 2, what do you think it should focus on, or where do you think it should go?
Well, I think just based off of this, because we saw in this last episode that Boba they stopped the Pike Syndicate, essentially. They basically killed at least all the Pikes that were here on Tatooine, or in that area of Tatooine. So I don't know if that'll come into play in some future installment if they did that. Maybe there will be more Pikes that come in, to get revenge, and he has to protect Mos Eisley and Mos Espa again. Because we did see, too, that, Mando left, but, Boba didn't leave with him. I don't think Boba's going to control Mos Eisley anymore.
Considering at the end we saw Cobb Vanth in a bacta tank.
Yeah, so he's probably going to be... And Boba even said, I don't think I'm fit for this. Right. And then Fennec Shand asked him, well, if not us, then who? And then
it showed
that
Cobb
at the end. So there was an end credit scene if you didn't see that. So, yeah, I don't think... I mean, who knows? Maybe even Boba just leaves Tatooine. I don't, because he was all about protecting it, but now he's leaving it in the hands of somebody else. So maybe he'll leave Tatooine, go on some other adventure. I don't necessarily see him crossing back over with the Mandalorian necessarily, unless Mando needs his help, because Mando came in and played a big role in the final battle in this movie, or this episode. Thank you. In this episode of the show. And so maybe that'll be I owe you, Mando will come, or Boba will come help Mando, at some point. But I don't see it crossing back in where he's just always with Mando, and it's just this buddy cop dynamic.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna go that route. I think they'll keep it to where, because we saw this whole thing with the Pike Syndicate on Tatooine and running the spice. Through Tatooine, and we know from previous Star Wars canon and movies and stuff that the Pikes were under the control of Crimson Dawn, and I mentioned this before in other videos, as in my people who could cameo in this show. I mentioned Kira, who was from Solo. She was Solo Han's love interest in that movie, and ended up becoming the leader of Crimson Dawn, which is basically the head of the crime organization throughout the galaxy. I think they could bring that up in the next season, should they focus on the Tatooine aspect of it, because like you said, they defeated the Pike Syndicate, but and Fennec Shand mentioned earlier that was a lot of where the money came from for Tatooine. That's how Jabba got rich, was because he allowed this stuff to happen, and then Bib Fortuna continued it. And now, with Boba Fett canceling this and stopping the Pikes from running it, it's going to stop trade in that area of the galaxy. So Crimson Dawn will want to step in, and I think Season 2 could focus on a lot more with, even if Kira herself doesn't show up, I think a reference to Crimson Dawn in some way, and if Cobb Vanth becomes the mayor or Daimo or whatever you want to call him of Tatooine, then Boba Fett can be his right hand man basically, and they can together fight against Crimson Dawn or whoever it ends up being. But that's the direction I would take it. I don't know where they would go. I think they're perfectly fine ending the Mandalorian Boba Fett team up stuff with this. I mean, a couple episodes, maybe like a cameo or something, where one of them needs the help of the other one would be fine. But I don't think they have to go together the entire time. I think they can end it there. And I don't, I liked seeing what Grogu could do now in this, but again, it's a Mandalorian thing.
Right.
So leave that for the Mandalorian or the Ahsoka series, whichever, For season 2 of the Book of Boba Fett, I wouldn't focus on anything other than Boba Fett. Not like you did in this
Boba
season.
and Fennec Shand and maybe that little group that he has, like Chrysanthemum and all of them, because they all survived. I think all of them.
They're pretty much,
none of them
all the main ones
died. Yeah. I could see them traveling together like the Guardians of the Galaxy or something, where they're just going around,
or like Han, Leia,
doing
Luke,
whatever.
Chewie,
I don't see Boba necessarily staying on unless he goes to a different part of Tatooine. There's also the possibility that Cad Bane might show up again. I mean, we saw Boba kill him in this episode, but the fact that Boba left and then his body's just laying there. Every time somebody does that, the villain always comes back.
I mean, I personally think they ended the Cad Bane stuff because the whole storyline here.
Episodes.
Yeah, but
Cad
Bane was basically taking responsibility for killing Boba Fett's Tusken Raider family. And so they had him kill Cad Bane using the stick that he got from them. But I mean, it's a great payoff for the character of Boba Fett to kill Cad Bane after the history they had in the Clone Wars. And if you haven't seen that, check it out. But I think Cad Bane is officially dead. Now, how that's going to impact other, like the rest of the Pike Syndicate, or maybe bring somebody else in that was working alongside Cad
maybe
Bane,
they'll send in some other bounty hunters.
I don't know how that will play
to go after Boba Fett. Maybe the Pike Syndicate will start hiring,
or Crimson Dawn will hire more people.
Crimson Dawn even. Will hire more bounty hunters and things. Not only to go after Boba, but to try and get Tatooine back to giving them their spices.
I mean, I definitely think we will see this group again. Whether or not
it would pop up in something else.
Whether or not I think there will be a full series dedicated to these guys again, season 2 of the Book of Boba Fett, I don't know. But I think the way they ended this episode, where they showed Cobb Vanth in the Bacta-Pod, and they showed Boba and Fennec and Chrysanthemum and the bikers and, everybody kind of standing in a circle as if they were still a team. They're basically the new Luke, Han, Leia, Chewie.
That's true.
All
They're
of them.
Gonna be
So I think they will play a major part in the upcoming series, like Ahsoka and maybe even the Kenobi series if it shows the Boba Fett and Chrysanthemum fighting against Obi-Wan stuff.
That'd
But
be cool.
I think they'll appear again. I would be okay seeing a season 2 of the Book of Boba Fett if it focused on the Boba Fett stuff. You don't need Din Djarin and Grogu and Ahsoka and Luke and all of them in this. Now that they built up this stuff with Grogu and Mando, I think you're okay with leaving that aside if you have a season 2 of the Book of Boba Fett, because there's nothing else to set up for, as of right now at least, for the Mandalorian, because they set that all up. Then season 3
they
will
did
cover
all that, and they wasted a couple episodes.
So I don't think they need to do that again in another series. So I'd be okay with it if they focus on the Boba Fett stuff.
I would be too. And if Boba was gonna pop up back in the Mandalorian or whatever, or at least him and Fennec Shand, because I don't really relate to any of the other people.
I mean, Chrysanthemum would be cool.
Chrysanthemum, okay, fine, but. If he was going to pop back up in The Mandalorian, I think it should be for a couple episodes or something at least. Not just focused on Boba Fett, obviously, they did here with Mando. But maybe Mando, in his travels, whatever he's doing in Season 3, ends up running into the Pike Syndicate on another planet or something. Or some Pikes that are trying to get the spice trade on another planet, and he has to deal with that. And then Boba's out there. Maybe that's what Boba's going to do next. Track down the Pikes across the galaxy so they can just take them all out, so they're not doing this to other planets too, since he protected Tatooine from it. or at
Right.
least that part of Tatooine.
He'll
Like
become
maybe that's
kind of
what
a vigilante.
Yeah, maybe that's what
throughout the
Boba and his
galaxy.
group will do
Yeah.
next. They're gonna go after that, and that's how they'll meet back up with Mando again. Or Mando contacts them like, "Hey, I found some more Pikes. Come
Right.
deal with them," or whatever. So if they were gonna have even a season 2 of that, could be season 2 of Book of Boba Fett. That could even be what he's doing in that as well. Is like going around and finding the Pikes across the galaxy.
And somehow combining with Crimson Dawn and fighting
Yeah,
against I just
yeah.
really want to see that. Like
Crimson
I don't
Dawn
even care if
showing up.
Kira doesn't
Yeah.
show up. I want the aspect of Crimson Dawn to show up at some point, and it might even be in Kenobi, because we know Maul fights Kenobi at
That
some
would be
point.
yeah. I mean that was like
so-
when we saw that was kind of like, whoa, Darth Maul's alive. Like
Yeah.
if you'd never seen the Clone Wars, you wouldn't know why that he was alive.
Or Rebels.
Or Rebels, I guess. So like seeing that was like, whoa,
Yeah.
you know. So it would be cool to see that again. And I agree with you as well. I think if they are to do a season 2 of the Book of Boba Fett, I would like to see it just to see what the follow up to this, I guess. But
Yeah.
like you said, without including Mando and all that, just have it be its own thing that maybe
Right.
catches up eventually. Like you could have a cameo every once in a while from Mando. I don't think
Yeah.
you need a whole like they ruined a lot of the show.
Yeah, because they focused only on
Mando and stuff. Yeah,
yeah.
if you go back and watch this whole series, it was like there were some things that were like
Right.
questionable why'd they do that and stuff, and they redeemed themselves with this last episode. But it's like the next season should just focus on Boba Fett and his group that he has, and maybe, like I said, tracking down the Pikes across the galaxy or
Right.
whatever, something
Doing
along those
something,
lines.
yes.
I think that would be a cool little fun adventure to see 6 or 7 more episodes of in a season 2. In
Yeah.
between, every time there's a new season of The Mandalorian, you have a season of the Book of Boba Fett just to keep the Star
Right.
Wars train going through the whole year, and then
See,
throw in the other shows that they've mentioned as well.
I think the issue, not just with this, but with just Star Wars in general recently, has been a lot of everything has to connect. I mean, I get it's a
it's a
huge
shared
world,
universe.
and
yeah.
you know it's supposed to connect at some point, but they do too much where it's trying to connect everything at one time, rather than like they're trying to connect the Book of Boba Fett to the Mandalorian without like showing the Mandalorian. I mean, or without showing Boba Fett. You know that it doesn't work
Yeah,
like
so
that.
it's
Like if
kinda-
this is
yeah.
Boba Fett, have this last episode. Or even the previous episode, which was fine, you know, where it showed Din Djarin with Boba Fett and trying to recruit Cobb Vanth and all of them to work, and then Cad Bane showed up. That episode would have been fine. You didn't need the one before that where it focused on
Mando, right.
Mando
And
learning to use the
Yeah.
Darksaber.
And it's not
you
like
know?
it doesn't make sense that he would call Mando because they've
Right.
met in the past. They're
Yeah.
friends. You know, everybody does that. They would call in for backup or whatever. But
Right.
like, he didn't need to be the focus of that whole episode, which we mentioned in our episodes 5 and 6 reviews or whatever, where it shifted the focus from Boba Fett. So yeah, if there was going to be a season 2, focus more on Boba Fett. Maybe even do some more flashbacks of something. I don't know. I guess they kind of concluded that.
Yeah.
Because his
I mean,
whole thing
yeah,
with the Tuskens
we
and
figured
everything.
out
But yeah.
how we ended up. Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go, guys. Those were our thoughts. Let us know what you guys think. Do you think there should be a season 2 of the Book of Boba Fett? And if so, why? Let us know that down in the comments section. Also, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more. And keep an eye out for everything else we got going on. We might have some more Star Wars things in the future. I'm sure we will.
Hopefully.
I'm sure we will.
Well, there's a
probably
couple
some
more
other-
series coming out soon.
Yeah,
so
so we'll try and do those as well. Thank you for watching this video, everyone, and we will see you in the next one.
and may the Force be with you.
Subscribe.